It's the great thing with stencils, you have to reuse them because it's too time consuming otherwise. Say zombie apocalypse, COVID, so it's not so much of a, it was all zombies, weren't we? During lockdown, we couldn't do this, we couldn't do that, we were told what to do. So it's that play on that really. The thing is, it's that always the most saleable piece because it's, people like it, but do you want to have breakfast when you look at it? Yeah. It's nice to do stuff that, a lot of the stencils are quite gimmicky, like tongue-in-cheek. So it's nice to do things that make people think. I've had a lot of fun and games with paints over the years because I got really lucky a few years ago. I did an artist residency in Cambodia. I was there for 2 years in the end. It should have only been a couple of months. I loved it. I fell in love with the place. It was that kind of, I was on about $6 a day. I was doing what I loved. I was getting paid peanuts, but I put things into perspective. I just loved it. A beer was 30p. I get a curry for $1. I think I fell in love with the place. And because the cycle bit here hasn't really got anything to do with it, it's just the COVID bit really. So I'm just kind of getting rid of this. It's going to get lost in the stencil anyway, but I don't really want any of that blue coming through. With the Cambodia thing, I was having to fly to Thailand to get paints, which was taking me a 2 hour flight. Oh no, an hour flight, get the paints, and then of course you can't fly with them. So I was having to get a 10 hour bus back because there was no, so everything out there was just such an adventure. It was like going to get paints and I couldn't get hold of acetate. So I had to project everything. And because of their infrastructure up there was power cuts every, like 2-3 times a day. So every time the power goes off, your projector resets, you've got to start all over again. Spraying your camera. Kids come first now. And they already had, to be honest, got 3 amazing step kids and 15, 12 and 7. And they're all amazing. They're brilliant with Poppy, and life has gone from around Asia and travelling, and which I loved, but the art suffered for that because I was never around long enough to push it, and I was always away, and gives you your best self when you're away, drinking too much, being a bit silly, and so it's kind of settled at not a nice age, but I got there in the end. I guess fatherhood's been good for the art as well. It's pushed me more, it's made me want to, it's tough when you put out what you do out there and you're worried that you're not getting the right response, or so I just didn't ask galleries, I didn't approach people, and Dan mentioned getting in touch with you guys, which was another little push, and it makes it all, because you want to work with good people as well. That's so important in this world, because there's a lot of dickheads. I guess it's that, but it will go full circle. I think the money's just changing directions and hands, isn't it? You'll get the galleries that won't see through it. Delicate little buggers, these things. A gust of wind the wrong way and it really...
So it's interesting, you work from light to dark.
Depends on the image, actually. It really depends. Light to dark, ideally, but also it does depend on how they line up, or if they're in a dark room or it's a dark area, you go dark first. But I have to look at the image first, and just very early stencils I cut, I just went dark, and you spray them, and you realise you're covering half the stuff, and it is that matter of, so very experimental in those early days of just, I'm not very good at seeing stuff through, so I pick it up, I put it down. But this one probably took maybe like 10 days to cut out, maybe, which I'd say so ish. Maybe a little, which is weird because I don't have patience. It's like, I think I can, if I've got a good audiobook to listen to, or I will lose 8-9 hours just, or music, or it's because I can, it would have been audiobooks. I listened to Animal Farm and 1984, so I did all the George Orwell ones, and they're about 10-hour books, so it's a day and a half of stenciling. So if that took me 2 books or something like that, it's like, if I'm listening to music, I do sometimes go, oh no, I want to skip that. Oh, I don't like that song. And I find myself stopping. But with a book, it's just constant and it's background noise, and I don't really have to concentrate. It's amazing how much you do take it in. But once I traced it out, I am just following the lines. So it is like, you are a bit hypnotic with it. Banksy freed all this up for everyone, didn't he? That kind of bringing it to millions in a way. But the problem with that as well is that in the 2000s, everyone in their nan was a DJ. So everyone went for stage, everyone was a stencil artist, and everyone, I guess I don't do this on the street a lot, so I'm not really a street artist, but it's predominantly canvases, signs, or commission pieces. But I liked Chuck Close's work at uni, that kind of gridded system where block colours, and then his work changed massively when he had a stroke, and his work just became more lucid, I guess, and free with his limitations. It was more the fact that I am impatient, and not that I want to get it done and go, but she's not a tidy person. So covering those imperfections and splatter and the drips, and I think because it lends well with the media as well, it kind of just works. Not always, but I will give that a little bit of time to dry actually. Started at IAD, which then became UCA, and I started a degree and fine art, but I did the year and then wanted to go travelling, and I was like, oh, I'll travel for a bit and I'll finish the degree after, and it just never happened. Fine art's different though. Someone will buy your work because they like it. Whether you've got a degree is a little bit irrelevant sometimes. So it's the best part of uni is being around other artists. You gel when you socialise, and so that side of it is important. But that kind of degree as such opens up doors if you want to teach eventually. But I still wish I could go back, but I just got that love of travelling so much, and that just became my life really, on and off for years.
What are the best places you've ever been to?
Siem Reap in Cambodia. I was there for felt like forever. Loved Vietnam as well, and Sydney. I love Sydney, Australia. I've been there about 4 times, and it's always been a place where I've ended up either running out of money or staying, or it's just not the most creative city really. It's not like Melbourne's like Brighton. Melbourne's full of cool coffee shops and street art everywhere, but Sydney's just, I don't wish I'd stayed because obviously it wouldn't be who I am, but it's somewhere that I would like to take Laura and the kids. It would be my dream holiday, I think, to take. I need to flog a lot of these, but it is just, it's a pretty magical place. But it does lack a bit of grittiness. Some of our cities have that underground, the street art. Melbourne has it, but I think Sydney is just pretty. It's just the Opera House, the bridge, it's that iconic. It's cool. Honestly, it's that if I can get into a show out there, I'll try and use that as an excuse to, not that I need an excuse, but things are a little different now. I think the imagery helps with the style of painting as well. The oversprays and zombies, they can't be neat and tidy. I find the stock image online, kind of just manipulate it online to bring out the contrast and tones, and then decide for what bits go on top of what. The early stencils, I'd cut the wrong bits, stuff would fall out, and then I'd do a load, and then I'd do another stencil, and I'd spray over what I've already cut out. So it's kind of learning to have a system where it just works, where you'll know what to cut out, what not to cut out. I quite traditionally oil painting first at uni, and I started messing around with stencils. And then I think someone said, "Can you paint my dog? Stencil my dog?" And I did their dog, and then I thought, "Oh, I'll do my dog." And then it just became, I don't know, I just enjoyed it. I quite enjoyed therapeutic cutting out actually. Just switching off, not really thinking about anything. I enjoyed the quietness of it. I hadn't really thought about it.